Hey everybody, I wanted to teach my secret weapon today, and no, I can't give you every single detail. This is just going to be the quick version, but it should give you a phenomenal tool in your tool belt, and I'll give you some ideas on how to perfect this. My secret weapon over the years, I bought millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate using something called a wrap note. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that because the environment that's coming up, a tool like a wrap note is going to be critical. I don't know how many of you guys have talked to your lenders about your investment properties and financing or refinancing those, but that loan market has dried up significantly. When I do use banks, which is not that often, but once in a while, I'll use like BECU, Boeing Employees Credit Union, for multifamily loans. They're normally really strong. They're headquartered in King County. They're doing nothing. They're not doing any new loans, refis for investment property, nothing. Called another lender that does single family homes. I had a couple little single families I was going to refi. No loan product for that type of thing going on. So this is actually seller financing or leaving financing in place. You need no banks to do this, so you're gonna love this tool, all right? So the wrap note simply means you're going to create an instrument or a note that wraps another note, okay? Let me tell you a couple of ways to do this. This could be a mortgage that already exists. Now, you may have heard subject to or by subject to the existing financing, and I'm here to tell you that's pretty amateur. And the reason it's amateur is because it doesn't protect the seller at all. And if you want to be in this game a long time, you need to protect the seller and make sure you're giving them a quality product. Subject to just means I'm going to give you cash subject to this existing mortgage, and I take the mortgage over without my credit. The seller has no ability for recourse in there without huge legal battles. So this is a way to protect the seller and also deal with underlying mortgages, equity, multiple properties. Let me show you real quick how that's done. All right, so let's say you're going to buy a property for $500,000. Okay, you're gonna put $100,000 down, and we've got $400 left, right? So this is what the wrap note is, $400,000. Okay. Well, let's say that they've got an underlying mortgage of $200,000 on the property. What I like to do is I come in with one note to the seller that wraps right over this $2,000. So you've got their $200,000 in equity, and you've got $200,000 sitting there in a mortgage that's already there. All right. So this doesn't have to be an equity position. Okay. Let's say they own 400, right? And you put the same amount down, so we don't have equity there. You can still wrap this thing with all the same protections for the seller and literally mirror, that's what it's called, a mirror wrap, the underlying terms. All right. If we go back to the scenario of 200 and 400, these terms can't change because they're already in a mortgage, right? But this 200 on its terms can match this note. They can be totally different. You can do it any way. All right. So here's my favorite part about the wrap note. Excuse my erasing real quick here. What if you're buying a portfolio of rental properties? Somebody's done with the game since they're not allowed to evict for the rest of the year, right? We got all the policy changes, and let's say they've got, 10 properties. I'm not going to draw out all 10. I'll draw half of them, 5, but you know what I mean. They got all these properties, right? You can actually do one deal. That's one down payment to the seller, one note to the seller, one transaction to the seller, and use that one note, that very simple attorney-drawn note, to cover all these underlying mortgages. So when I buy a portfolio and we decide to leave underlying mortgages there, that's exactly what we do. And we can buy all the properties and leave them all there. You're obviously going to need to work with your attorney on this or an investment expert to walk you through something like this. But one time I did 18 buildings with the wrap note. One wrap note, 18 buildings. So it can be very effective. And same difference, you can address equity however you want, or you can mirror terms. I'm just going to wrap it up with this. All these notes probably have different terms on them, and you'll need to address them individually in the note. But these wrap notes are literally a clay pot that you can mold however you want in down payment, interest rates, due dates, underlying. So the thought I'm going to leave you guys is this. Everybody thinks, well, I can't invest in real estate because I don't have money or I can't get enough money. Consider this. Every property out there already has some level of financing on it. Why do you need new money? Why do you need new money, right? Even if it's free and clear, that's the seller financing it, right? And obviously free and clear is going to give you a lot more flexibility into something like this. But if it's not free and clear and there's an underlying mortgage, then that wrap note is a phenomenal tool to use where you do not have to bring in new financing. So food for thought, and we'll see you next week.